Hello, everybody. Hello, good evening. I hope you're all enjoying your New Year's Eve. To this point, be safe out there and, in your support bubbles and with your family and all that sort of stuff. You make sure that you're all having a wonderful time, but a safe time. Yes, I put some feelers out on Twitter to see if people would tune in to do a yearly review of Derby County in Derby Digest format. Because I did a yearly review for The Athletic. Go over there, check that out. Read that, please. It helps me a lot. But let's get the festivities started. I was saving this for a special occasion. And what's a more special occasion than the final Derby Digest? So just like at season's end last year, we're opening the champagne. Let's swig from the bottle. So, January, Wayne Rooney turned up. That was good. He turned up and the press box, including Nationals, was absolutely packed like it was a Champions League final and not just 17th place Derby County against then 22nd place Barnsley. So, the national media turned up like it was the Champions League final. I very much include myself in that. That was really weird. Wayne Rooney then proceeded to dig out Jack Marriott after the game, calling him lazy and taking his chances. Bodes well for him now that Wayne Rooney is manager. What else happened? Oh, yeah, Derby's FFP charge. Derby were officially charged by the EFL for violating FFP regulations. The charge related to the sale of Pride Park and also an amortisation policy. Derby then released a statement basically going like that to the EFL and said that they would contest it vigorously and said that the charge was unlawful. Henry Gabai, remember him? Remember Henry Gabai, our Swiss financier investor who presumably still wants to invest in the club at some point. He said he still wanted to invest and talks had started in November. His situation would get much, much grimmer. So January, that was fun, weren't it? February, into February, Derby won away. They actually won an away game. Here. Derby won an away game for the first time in 6 months when Tom Lawrence scored the winner to propel them to a 3-2 victory over the Swans. Then the kids beat Borussia Dortmund in the UEFA Youth League. That was very fun, wasn't it? And that sent them into the last 16 for a tie against Salzburg. What else happened? I have notes here. I have lots and lots of notes. Oh, yeah. Derby's shirt sales. The Rooney effect is now in full flow. Derby's shirt sales, they're up by 30%. The social media numbers are absolutely through the wazoo. And yes, crowds are also up. Oh, and after a 1-1 draw against Huddersfield in February, now ex-BBC Radio Derby commentator Craig Ramage says that he'd tell all the young black lads they needed pulling down a peg or two. He is swiftly dismissed. March. Let's see what happened in March. Louis Sibley, he scored an absolute thunderbolt against Blackburn Rovers at home in what was, to date, the last game that you were all allowed to be at, because then the ongoing global pandemic swept up and all football was kicked in the can for 3 months. So that was a lot of fun. Oh, and the kids lost. They lost in Salzburg 4-1. No shame in that, but that was very fun. April, Henry Gabai, he's back. Yes, one of his companies was wound up. That was fun. And we discovered that he had 3 winding up orders in 4 years. So, maybe dodged a bullet with him. And his story would get very, very bleak as it went on. So we will get to him. Oh, and MSD entered the picture. MSD, that was good, wasn't it? They now have, Derby then took loans out, secured against the training ground. And now that is a bit of a sticky patch, it's believed, in getting that takeover across the line. So, MSD, they turned up. That was good. May, oh boy, man, we're really in the middle of a pandemic now. May, Mason Bennett, his Snapchat gets leaked of him driving past Pride Park, telling it to fucking burn. It's believed it was meant to be a private joke aimed at one of the players that he gets on with. Mason Bennett is now at Millwall permanently. So, yes, that was all good fun. Chris Martin, we break the story that Chris Martin is unlikely to stay at Derby County as a new deal is yet to be offered. Fans lose their mind. Some think it's a non-story. Everyone can all agree that they are greatly concerned. And then wage deferrals and furloughs happened. That as happened across the entirety of football. So that that all happened because of the ongoing global bastard. So yeah, that was cool. June then came. June, that all came and went. Tom Huddleston, he rejected a new contract. Chris Martin, he rejected a new contract. No one takes the first offer, right? Oh man, no one takes the first offer. We remain hopeful though. We remain hopeful, and talks are ongoing, and they did manage to extend their contracts for the short term. What else happened in June? Football actually came back. Football actually returned, and it was all absolutely wonderful. Louis Sibley scored a hat-trick as Derby beat Millwall 3-2 to keep the playoff push alive, a playoff push that was improbable in January when they were 17th. And and players take a knee as Black Lives Matter continues to the protests continue to gain steam. That was happening at every championship game across the country. So yeah, that happened. 3 wins on the spin. 3 wins on the spin in June. And Derby go a point within 6. They go a point within Cardiff. 3 wins on the spin. As we all know, it wouldn't stay that way. July, my favourite month. Derby shithoused their way to a 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest in the 97th minute. Some bloke threw himself in the canal thinking they'd won. I bet he wishes he'd stayed there now because that collapse is still happening. Philip Cocu looked like he'd just got a brand new bike for Christmas as he hugged Shay Gibbon tighter than I think any human has ever hugged another human being ever. Chris Martin leaves the club at the end of the month, so that kind of sucked. Tom Huddleston, he would also leave. Max Bird was captain. That was nice. That was a nice moment. Derby did lose that game against West Brom 2-0, but look, Max Bird being captain, an academy boy, one of your own, being captain, wallet. Good stuff. 2 ticks, A+. Henry Gabai calls me fake news on Twitter, but doesn't do anything about it. So there's that. And he has now disappeared. Wayne Rooney, he was struggling for a little bit of form, and questions were now being asked as to whether he should be in the team or not. His passing had been hit and miss. He did provide moments of quality from set pieces, but it was weird to consider in January how good he'd been. There was now a debate as to if he should even get in the side. So yeah, that was all fun and games. The playoff push that was briefly alive in July then completely dies on its arse by the end of the month as Derby close out the season with 4 defeats on the bounce to Brentford, Leeds, West Brom and Cardiff. Leeds then celebrate on the Pride Park pitch, making it probably good that Derby were not allowed to have fans in there, and their CEO was looking through binoculars and waving a flag around while their players set flares off on the pitch. Yes, all very heartbreaking for Derby fans. Grim, absolutely grim. Derby are cleared in August. In August, Derby get cleared of the EFL charge. A mammoth report comes out, about 200 pages long, and the EFL's case was about as solid as a house made of wet baguettes. So that was all good, claiming that the stadium was bog standard and nothing more than a League One facility, which the EFL then conceded was maybe a bit of an oversight. The EFL appeal it. Derby threatened legal action. So yeah, that's still not over. What else happened? Where are we? September. Let's get on to September. I walk out of a Barrow game, not because the football was dreadful, but because I had a bit of a mental breakdown. And it seems Derby did as well, as they then went to lose all 3 games in September. There was hope, though. There was hope. Remember hope? Remember how good hope was? So yeah, there was that. I interviewed Philip Cocu about, his playing career and his tactics. That went well. Yeah, October. Philip Cocu is on the brink of being sacked, it is believed. However, we understood that wasn't the case. Either way, Derby, weirdly, improbably, go to Norwich and beat Norwich with a delicious Wayne Rooney free kick and a defensive display that was magnificent. By the end of October, Derby have scored 5 goals, though, so that's not good. And then Wayne Rooney, he has to go in isolation because he came into contact with someone who had COVID. So, yeah, he is then forced to miss the next 3 games, and he makes his return at Bournemouth. So, yeah, that was great. November. Oh, boy! November. Derby are bottom of the Championship in November after a 2-0 home defeat to Barnsley. Philip Cocu is sacked a week later. Not good, that, is it? Yeah. So, And as well, Philip Cocu couldn't even attend his last game. That's how grim it was. He had to self-isolate for 2 weeks, as did Mel Morris, as did Stephen Pearce, the CEO, after Stephen Pearce had been tested positive for COVID-19. And he'd been in close contact with Morris and Cocu. So Cocu couldn't even attend his final games. It all got very, very messy. Liam Rosenior and Wayne Rooney are placed in a co-manager arrangement. That lasts about 4 minutes before Wayne Rooney is then just placed in interim charge. So, yeah, there was all that. And The Athletic, we break the story that there's going to be a takeover. And then there's this. Steve McLaren, he's back. Steve McLaren is back for his 18th stint at Derby County. He is now a technical director and he'll be overseeing bits and bobs and he will be helping Wayne Rooney in the sole interim managerial role, whatever it is. Either way, whatever influence it's having, it seems to be good because December has been, it's been okay. Derby have rattled off. They've only lost one game in December, 5 clean sheets in 6 games. They battered Swansea, they battered Birmingham, and I am now cursed because I've not seen Derby win a game in stadium since the Blackburn game. So it is revealed that I am cursed. So all good things. Oh, and Derby released a statement saying the takeover, they're confident, is going to be completed by Christmas. We're now on New Year's Eve, and it isn't. So wallop, that's always good. Are we mentioning Steve McLaren's hairline? We are not mentioning Steve McLaren's hairline. I haven't actually got a good look at it to be honest. But no, was that meant to be Return of the Mac? Didn't really work. Like I know in my head I was like, this will be fucking sweet, but it wasn't fucking sweet at all. Anyway, that wraps up. I thought this was going to be a little bit longer considering all the notes that I made, but either way, you watch me all spill champagne over myself, and it is absolutely covered on my desk and on my jeans and on the roll neck. That was all good. Does anybody have anything that I might have missed in this absolutely bonkers year? Anybody at all? Please don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear it? Yeah, you can hear it now. That's wages. The wages. Yes, that was today. So the Telegraph reported that Derby's wages were not paid on time. Yes, of course, they say that that is unfortunate and it was due to, I don't know, some kind of transition period. They were expecting some kind of cash to be paid today. That is almost the exact same thing that happened last year with Henry Goodbye. Now, obviously, that just missed the cut-off point by a single day. But yeah, this time last year, Derby were also not paid on time in what was termed an admin error. So it seems they have another admin error there. But they're still positive that the takeover will be completed. So that's all good. Excuse me. So yes, I did forget about... I'd not been on Twitter all day, and then I came on and saw that. So yes, that was absolutely bonkers. No, I haven't mentioned anything about Gordon, Freddie. Sorry. Yes, is it Cady? Is that how I pronounce it? Cady Gordon. He made his debut in the 4-0 win over Birmingham. 16 years old. He's not even played a minute for the under-23s yet. He was born 2 months after Wayne Rooney signed for Manchester United. We are all getting old. My hairline is fading. We're all marching to the grave. So yeah, that outstanding. We talked about purely Jason Knight. He deserves at least a full video. Jason Knight, yes, Jason Knight, the only Derby player this season to feature in every single game, deservedly so. He's been absolutely wonderful. His 2020 has been magnificent. He got his Ireland senior call-up, made some appearances. Lee Buchanan, he got an England under-21 call-up and got an assist. That is all very lovely and very wonderful stuff as well. So yes, that is definitely good. What else? Just tomorrow. I mean, they should pick that phone up tomorrow and make those calls and get the business done early. Yeah, it was, George. It was a really boring year, mate. Yes, I think that is everything. Look, I didn't want to take up your time on New Year's Eve. I know you've got families to see and people, loved ones to call, the FaceTime and doing Zoom quizzes and all that. If you are spending New Year's Eve alone this year, don't worry, I am as well. So it happens. Stay strong, stay in a good headspace. Be kind to yourself. Remember that you are loved. Don't get lonely. There's always help out there. The Samaritans. There's always a bunch of numbers that you can call the NHS. So honestly, I hope you have a wonderful new year, and we get to kick it all off tomorrow with an away game against Sheffield Wednesday. You will all be absolutely delighted that I'm covering that game from home. So they will definitely win 4-0. So that's always absolutely fucking swell. Listen, guys and girls, it has been absolutely brilliant. I love covering this football club, even if sometimes it doesn't love me. Take care of yourselves, guys. Happy New Year to you all, and I will see you very, very, very soon. Bye, everybody.